So today we are going to build a customer support chatbot within n8n, and here is the workflow. So let's test it real quick and then see how it works. So let's grab the URL for production right here. Click on this. So right here, grab this one. Let's set it to production, and then back to your Canva, and then let's save, execute this workflow. And then once you have executed it, so let's fill our name. Let me say my name is Shadrach, and my email address will be, let's give a real email address, 24, and then help. Can I ask, maybe can you build me a customer support agent? So that's the question. Let's submit this one. So when it's submitted, come here, you can see it's running, and it will be submitted to this Google Sheet right here. So the agent has submitted here, and then let's go check my email address. Let's wait here. A new email address has come, so you can see it has responded quite well. But so for this agent to be more accurate, you probably need to give it a knowledge base. But I'm going to walk you real quick on how to set up this AI agent and probably show you how to implement security features for your agent so that not anyone can use it. So only authorized people can use our AI agents. So first of all, the logic behind here is that a user submits a form requesting support or an inquiry, and then once the form is submitted, you need to send them a message that their form has been submitted successfully, and then the information right here gets embedded to this Google Sheet. So let's just open this form and then see the parameters. So if you come here, you can see the name. So when you open a new URL, let's just open a new URL so that you can see how this thing really is. So let's put it here and then come back, execute this one, and then come back, refresh here. So you can see the very details that are on this very form are the details that are here. So stop listening and let's continue. So you can see customer assistant is the very details that are here. So you just need to add variables the way you want. If you need to add a new element, for instance, contact or phone number, you can always add an element on the form. So you can maybe say contact. You can say contact. After you say contact, this one will be, of course, a contact will be a string because sometimes it may contain special characters. But if you want purely a number, you can set that and then maybe place required field. And for now, we want to go with it. So this is just to show you what you can add within your form. So for now, just go and delete that one now. Okay, back to your Canva. So I think it will be good if we start building this from afresh. So let's select everything and then we delete and then we start afresh. So the first thing that you want to do is come here, create form. You create a form, n8n form, and then on form event. So first, what you come here, field details. It doesn't require authentication. Form title, maybe call it customer support, and then form description. Tell it like we just say type your message. Type your message here. And then elements, so form elements. So here what you need to add form elements. So first you will need the name, customer name, and then the name will be text, placeholder, maybe type your name, and then it should be required. Add a form element, so here will be an email, and then input type will be an email, and then placeholder, you type your email, and then put it as required, and then next second input form description. Okay, form description. Check your message. So for production, I think form description should be more of clear so that the users can understand what form they're filling. So for this case, let's go with a detailed description. So and then add another format here. You probably add a message now. Add a node that is a message. And then after filling your message, the next step the message will be text should be required. And then I think this one is good. Once you've done that, let's see if you execute, what do we get? So yeah, here is the form that we've just tested it out, so it's working well. And then let's go back to our Canva. So we have added this, and the next step you will want to, after someone have submitted this form, what happens next? So let's add a node and then form again. So form end. Okay, you want to end the form after someone has submitted the very form. What happened when somebody submit this form? What happens next? So that's exactly what you want to set. So form ends and then show completion screen. I want the user, once he has finished filling the form, to be redirected back to my site. So I'll add a redirect site, and then I'll go to my website, probably custom CX, and then add the redirect site. So go back to homepage whenever you have finished filling this form. So that's what I'll choose, and then I'll paste my redirect site there. Do you want the user to be redirected here immediately, or you want the user to wait a little bit so it feels more procedural? For me, I will want the user to be redirected immediately. So that's all. So, and if you wanted to maybe give a user some information after he has finished filling the form, probably you should go with show some text. Thank you for filling this feedback, or we'll get back to you shortly. Then this short text will work with that. So you can see, you can fill here, thank you for filling this form. But for my case, I want the user, once he has finished filling the form, just go back. So back to our Canva, this one is working. Then this information, I would like it to be kept under the Google Sheet. So I've already prepared this Google Sheet here. Let's just delete every information that is inside here. So whether you can delete even the entire columns, so you can delete everything and just leave it blank. The agent will handle everything. So come back at the Google Sheet. So let's handle Google Sheet. Okay, let's go to, you want to append or update Google Sheet. That's what you need. You need the data to be appended. So I'll add my Google Sheet auth sheet within the, okay, everything is right. So append or update Google Sheet. This is the very thing that I need. That's right. So choose your Google Sheet. I'll choose customer assistant. You can see the Google Sheet here is called customer assistant. So it just appear within the n8n. And then the very sheet, I only have one sheet within. So if you come here, you only have sheet one. I don't have any other sheet. So I'll just choose that very sheet. So come back to mapping. I think mapping should be done automatically. And I think everything is good. So back to the Canva. And the next step is I want, when this information has been appended here, I want it to be, so let's just execute this one and see if it's working before we continue with our workflow. So let's re-execute our form and fill details like let's say this one is, my name is Shadrach, and then my email address is the 24, and then message, let's say hello, what can you do? So after that, let's admit this one. So let's come back. You can see it's appending. So successful. Come back to your Google Sheet. It has worked. So for this one, it has worked. Everything is submitted successfully. So our first step is working. So the next step is you want the agent to find this information and then respond to it. So what you'll do, you need add a new agent, and then this time around we'll go with the Google Sheet chat trigger that will get that information and then give it to the agent. So we go with the Google Sheet, and then the next step will be to get. So scroll and then get, and then okay, you just need to choose your account and then get raw, of course, from which document, from the very document. And then the next step will be you need to choose sheet one, and then yeah, that's all. So you can get back to the Google Sheet. So let's just make our workflow more clean. And then the next step, you want to attach your agent, AI agent. Come back and pick your AI agent here. So connect the chat trigger. So what happens here is you want to do it manually so that everything can go well. So first of all, let's execute this one here so that we can have the field set correctly. So let's come to our agent, and then now we'll want to select what the agent can map. So chat trigger defined below. So first of all, I'll want the chat trigger to use the name, to refer the person by name, and then use the email address. The next step is I want it to use the email address. And then I also want the agent to map the message that has been sent from the Google Sheet. So that didn't go on correct. Yeah. So, and then I'll want to give my agent some information on who he is. So on that, you have to tell your agent what is it capable of doing. So I'll just prepare a prompt, and then I'll add a system message and tell it what it's capable of doing. And yeah, I can execute this step. Okay, let's see. So yeah, I know where the error is coming from. We need to connect a brain. So let's connect some brain. I used Google Gemini because Google Gemini is way smarter for this setup. So I choose Google Gemini, and then I'll use a simple tool. So the tool that I use here, it will be an email. You must add the email that is being sent from. So what email is your agent coming to do with? So here I'll add a tool called Gmail. First, I need to add Gmail after Gmail tool. So also you have to select your Gmail and then set automatically tool, message, send message to. This one will be automatically. So of course, to you may want to send it automatically, but also I think you can just drag your email that is coming right here, and then you can leave it to HTML, and then the message to be automatically, and then I think everything else you can leave it the way it is. So and then from you, of course, it will be coming from your very email address, the person who is using this AI agent. So my email that I'm using here already, I've set up my account, so it's Shadrach Meshach 7, and then come back. So there's a field missing here. Let's just check and see what is missing. So okay, subject, it will be support. I think you can say subject should be support. Customer support, but everything else the agent can set it, but you can just want to simplify the work for your agent, so that's good. So let's go back to let's just execute this and see typical message. So no, let's just complete the setup before we do the testing. So once we're here, let's connect a tool. So this very tool will be, again, it will be the Google Sheet. So once the tool, the Google Sheet, once it has fetched the email from this Google Sheet, you want it to update a new Google Sheet. So Google Sheet. Let's just look for Google Sheet tool, and then so this time around it's going to working on update. You want it to update the arrow. So what you want it to do is that after it has sent an email address, you want to create this column here, and let's call it action. Probably call it action. So you want it to update the column action with either true or false. True or false. Have you sent an email or not? So that's what we are going to work on here. So okay, when you come back at update, and then the Google Sheet will selecting still the same Google Sheet, customer support, and then the Google Sheet, and then map automatically, and then probably the column that you want to be selected, it will be action, and then I think, let me see, yeah, it's successful. So let's execute our agent and now see if at all it's working. let's execute this agent. So it comes to this platform here, and then let's fill our details, and then my name, let's call myself Meshach, and then the same email address, I'll use Meshach24, and then message, and you build me an email support system for my clients. Of course, you want to automate automatic. Yeah, this is what we want to do. So just to make sure that we don't have data here, let me delete all of this data here. So we don't need all this data here. So let's delete this one. And then let's make sure we don't have an email address coming from. Let's just delete all these email addresses that I used to test, so that we can make sure we are having a new email address. Okay, we delete all of them. So we are in the right place now. So let's send our email. Let's fill this one called Meshach. And then let's just go real quick and fill my email address right here, 24, and then message, can you build me a customer support system. That's all. Let's submit. Let's come back to our agent. It's now running. Everything is running successful. You can see, yeah, everything went successful. When you go back to our Google Sheet, you can see, can you build me a customer support, went successful. And then let's just go to our email address and see, yeah, there's a new email address, customer support, which has came in. And then you can see what to Shadrach, subject regarding. Okay, I think we messed up a little bit on our workflow. So to this person, we don't need to add this one. We don't come back here on your agent. Let's just the agent to set this automatically instead of no, it's not in here. It's on your email address. So come within your email address, your Gmail, and then let's just the agent set it automatically. Don't define it, and we'll run the workflow one more time and then see how it goes. So let's go back to our Canva and then see. So we need to execute this one for one more time. So let's just close all these tabs. So let's test it out one more time. Just run this one and then see how it will work. So you can see it's running. Everything is running. And yeah, let's go to our Google Sheet and see. Kevin has sent us a new email. Our agent has responded to Kevin. There's a new email address you can see. Yeah, dear Meshach. Yeah, we can respond to your. We can respond to your automatically. So I think the setup is working, but you want to play around with it. So the next step we'll be discussing security features on this AI agent. So how do you implement security features within your AI agent? So first of all, it's not everyone will want to fill this form. So whether you notice once we've finished filling this form here, you want the person to be redirected back to your site. So on that, we'll come on the form ending, and I think we have already set that one on redirect setting. So you want the person, so this is the first security feature. The person should be redirected back to your site, and so that it doesn't feel something that is not robotic, so much robotic. And then the next thing you want to put, probably you want to embed a credential. So you'll come within your form and you need to add a credential. So let's just check on that, how you can add on credential. So authentication, place a basic authentication, and then you can add a credential for your site. So and give it a name, and then so that users could be using that very credential. So that's the first thing. So for mine, I want to add a credential. So let me back to none. And then the next step will be, but if you are filling a form that require a user to be filling a continuous form, you want to place them in the next form. So if it is a looped form, you want to place it in the next form. And then the next step, when you're doing this, of course, you want to put up a fallback mechanism. So you only want to email those people who have sent you a valid email address. For that case, you need to disconnect here and then add a filter node. So here you'll add a flow. So on the flow, so let me see where the flow is. So this flow. So you need to add if. So first of all, you need to map the email address, and then of course from is equal. So from here, I think you will go back and use a platform like Redis to map your email address. For now, I won't go into detail, but first of all, you just need, if the filtering of the email address is true, is when you want to make a reply. But when it's false, you need to do nothing. Do nothing. Okay. Do nothing. Do we have that node? Do nothing here. We have that operation here. So you just need to add previous node parameter. So go back. You just need to do nothing. So if it's false, do nothing. So you can continue else. So the next step on this one is, what if there are multiple email requests coming in so that your memory or this CPU can process? So first of all, you need to add something called AI agent selector, so that it can go with multiple. So you can add up to 10 AI agents. So for this case, let's go with 4, and then back to your AI agent. And then these are just details that you need to be aware of. So you can, first agent can go here, and then you can add as many models as you can. For now, we won't do that because our agent is just simple. And then the next thing, it can be always be to wait until, so from here, you can also add, if it's true, but there's a process that is pre-running, you can go and do what is called wait. So let's drag this up and then click wait. Okay, wait node. So after the interval it has taken to run, you can always add this one before you do the wait. Our workflow setup is getting messy. Just do the wait and then you connect it there. But of course, you want to set up the filter more detailed. And then something else that you need always to set up within your service that they came up with is something called micro architecture or microservice. So first of all, you will need to go to tools. So for instance, you want to build an AI agent that do this collection of forms separately and then send the email separately. That's good for bulk messaging. So you'll come here, and then there's a tool, but then you can always code within n8n. So let's just go to microservice action network. Let's select flow once again. So choose the flow, and then of course what you want to do is use a database and then define a list. So you can always choose a different agent. So you see, I have different agents. So what this means is that you can just go back to your personal agents, cancel. Of course, you can go back to your personal agents and you will choose the workflow that you want to do the heavy lifting for you. But I won't go deep into detail of that, but just know you can create some agents and then do that. Let me just save so that I can show you what I mean. And let me save that. And then when you go to personal work agents, you can see I have some agents here. So for instance, you want this agent to be referring to this very agent called CoughPack, but this CoughPack has to be active. So let's just use this my AI agent here. So when you come back to your workflows, let's go back to our workflow. When you come back to this workflow, you can click here and select that agent that is called CoughPack. And then this CoughPack, it will be using that node to refer to CoughPack in order to execute this tool. So that's all for today, and I think we'll have more details on later dates.